Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 10. Episode 10 already of the Forsaken Council. It's great to see you all here. And firstly, I'd like to just apologise that there wasn't an open mic last weekend. I was out of town, and there was no one available to do it, so unfortunately we couldn't host one. But I hope everyone had a good VXP weekend. I don't know how. Did any of you guys take part in that?
No.
There's Ren.
I was with you. Hey, Ren.
Hello.
Yeah, so we've got our TFC admin panel here. We've got Andrew, Lucy, Ren, and myself. And tonight we've got two guest producers on the show as well. We've got Monster and we've got TSM. Both make regular appearances on the weekend show. So welcome to the week show, guys, and glad to have you both here. So VXP weekend. Ren, did you have a good VXP weekend?
I didn't touch a single 83 target.
No?
No, they were dumb.
Were you out of town with me as well?
No, I just thought they were dumb targets. I mean, everyone had Garrison, Siege, and Conqueror type holes to rank, and those guys were more like skirmish type of targets to use all the new nomenclature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I missed it. I didn't even see a single target, so I don't even have anything to talk, any perspective on that. I don't even know what the targets were. So.
Yeah, I posted a video up of the 83 targets. Once I got my new hull up to first star ranking, then I switched to the 83s from doing the ones around the relay bases. And I managed to find a pattern where I could actually do them for free, so instant fix. So I soon got the revenge up to within, I think they used two stars and a 1 star crew, and then I got them up within, I think, 6 hours, and they were sculled. It wasn't too bad at all, to be honest.
Well, I'm very jealous because mine are like 1 star still, so I'm gonna have to wait now. I bet, Monster, you did yours, didn't you?
Yes, mate. I found a pattern like TSM did, mate, and I used 2 double salty dog things.
Mm-hmm.
And the scold, mate. So yeah.
And welcome to the panel of filthy coiners.
And I also scolded up my gamma as well. So yeah, it was good.
Scold a gamma as well. I don't even have my gamma finished yet. Jesus, starting to get in front of me now. So some liked it and some didn't. I guess that's what we're seeing here.
I saw there was somebody online who didn't post a video actually because he didn't know how to do it. That was actually just smashing straight down through from top right to bottom left, taking the 4 patrol ships out and then flipping around and going back up top right again.
Right.
2 coins ago, but he was getting 17,000 points each time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is phenomenal, really.
Right. Well, I mean, I would have liked to have had a go at it. I was out of town, but I guess I'll have to rank up in the old-fashioned method, which is going to take some time. But for anyone that did benefit from it, great. And I guess it's something that Kickstarter are going to keep developing and working on. I mean, it's not. We've seen a different VXP weekend for the last 3 months now, haven't we? So maybe we'll see a different one again next month.
I still think the original River Assault Forces were the best because it was a mix of ships and buildings, and you could throw pretty much any kind of ship in there, mortar, cannon, subs, whatever, and you get them outranked.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right? Something for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, agreed there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I managed to do okay in every VXP weekend we've had. I've managed to come out okay from it. I mean, I managed to get my citadels done when they did the mines. Was it the mines? I managed to get the Centurions done in the one that they did for the Centurions. So for me, it was those sort of alterations of the VXP weekends were actually okay because I had the holes built that they were kind of altered for at the time. But
Sorry.
Bless you. So yeah, so mixed views there. Mixed views. Today we have had a fairly big update. A lot of posts in the forum. We've had the whip dropped and new Forsaken mission content. So I guess we're going to hit into that. I know we do have some slides, but we'll try our best to not sort of relay off the boring information and try and give you the main crunch of it if we can. Ren, are we doing a base clinic this week as well, buddy? Just out of curiosity. didn't have a chance to touch base with you, Ren, before the show, so I'm not sure. We may have the base clinic. I'm not sure.
I think he's on mute, so he's probably speaking to someone just now.
No, I didn't put anything together because I saw the amount of information we having from WIP and release notes and discussing the revenge. I think that alone is enough for like way more than an hour.
Definitely. No, I agree. Okay, Lucy, do you want to bring it up? Bring up the slides. Got the slide girl for tonight, Lucy?
Can you just see that screen? Like, if I click off here a minute, can you just see that screen still?
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I've got you locked on. Locked on to Lucy.
Because I'm just doing other stuff. So.
No worries. So this week we've had some changes to Deflection Bypass. Deflection Bypass was added to the game today, and to my knowledge, and from what they're saying in the forum, that it's added to all PvE targets. Is that correct?
It's not locked, mate.
Sorry?
It's not locked.
No, I've unlocked it there. I've unlocked the screen there. Yeah, no. So we've had it added to all PvE targets, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it works the same as resistance bypass. I'm reading off of your notes here, TSM. And it will reduce a flat amount of damage mitigation provided by deflection. This will balance the difference between PvE and PvP specific holes. So I'm assuming they've done it to, when they say all PvE targets, have they added bypass deflection to, say, fleets in PvE targets? Like armadas and stuff?
That's what they're saying, yeah. Armadas is definitely one of them. The Dracuranian bases is another one. Supposedly dubs as well, but I've seen a couple of people going to dubs, unless they have to cycle out first and then destroy them, and then when the new one goes in, then you have the new effect. But in general, it should be that all of the environmental hubs that are automatic to the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't actually had a chance to log in and play a great deal tonight. I did log in earlier, but I haven't been on the map and hit anything. I mean, have they also done this to salvages as well? Are we generally looking at it across the board of the game?
For the PvP hub, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any experiences, guys, with that? Ren or Monster, anything you guys have hit or notice any difference? Andrew, notice any difference, or Lucy?
I'm currently doing my missions just now, and I'm not noticed anything, if that counts.
No, I mean...
So I noticed the Centurion done a lot better this time around than what it did before the changes.
Right. Because there are holes that theoretically shouldn't be affected by this, but if they are, then... I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. But,
No, I haven't noticed anything, really. Not at all.
Monster, I know you've been out hitting bases with your revenges. Have you hit any PvE targets at all, or?
No, mate, just bases.
Monster has been hitting bases all night, I believe.
The sector seems a bit ruffled. I'm looking at comms just now, so well done, Monster.
Yeah,
you guys just jumped on, yeah.
Monster makes friends easy, really easy. Okay, so we've had the addition of Deflection Bypass. Now it's interesting that we're finally seeing it added. And I know a lot of us, we did try to pre-warn people not to build the Revenge as a PvE hull. So I do feel sorry for anyone that ignored that advice and did build it as a PvE hull, because it's now not really going to be that effective in doing so. But it's a change that we knew was coming.
Well, not everyone, right? Because have you seen forums today?
No.
Yeah.
What did I say 2 weeks ago, Ren? What did I say?
Yeah. You called it. Like today, you just see all the river of tears on forums, like people. Oh, I didn't know. Kicks iBet and Switch again. Oh, poor me. I spent 400,000 million golds on it, and now I can't use it anymore.
Well, Ren, I imagine that was they were typed a lot like that. Actually, that was a great impression.
400 million gold.
No, but it was something that when the whole come out, everyone was messaging saying, "Oh, what's a good weekly build for this? What's a good build for this to do dubs?" And everyone was saying, like, "Look, just stop. Don't build it for that, because it's not going to be for that." And I think it was a thing at the time. I was actually annoyed at the amount of PMs I was getting of people asking for a PvE build for this PvP hull. And I know that a lot of us did use it. I was using them for some PvE stuff initially, but I didn't build them for PvE. So this change has not affected me at all.
I think everyone was taking advantage of it while it lasted. I mean, so many people doing dubs and whatever they could with revenge. Because, yeah, I mean, up to yesterday it was great. But everyone I saw doing it built it for base hitting, for PvP, and was just taking advantage of the targets not having bypass, which is fine.
Well, they could, yeah. I mean, I took advantage of it too. I did 1685s on autopilot last night for like 5 coins. So I think everyone was enjoying it while it was there, but we all knew it was coming to an end. So, well, no, I didn't see the forums, but I can only imagine that Doom Rooster is having a lot of fun right now. So, okay, should we go into? I'm just looking at TSM did a great little bulletin point of changes here. So, I will go into the May raid event brief, Civil War, Broken Council. Now, this was a briefing posted on the forums. I will read it out as it's been written here. The rift between Zoe and Harlock has widened to breaking point. Zoe and her legion of followers have commandeered the Draconian strongholds for their own purposes, establishing bulkheads and patrolling fleets within these structures. They have begun crafting Forsaken megaholes using scavenged Draconian technology to face off against any who dare to stop them. Friend or foe, the Forsaken Council faces its toughest challenge yet. Civil War, Broken Council begins on May the 12th, which is 9 days. So a week on Thursday. So what do you guys think of that? I know. I do know we're getting a new raid format as well. We're getting different targets to hit. Any early views on the raid, or?
I don't know. Did I read somewhere that it wasn't a hull raid?
What do you mean? There's
no hull as like a prize.
Well, if you did read that, I didn't. I haven't really. I'm kind of out the loop because I was away from. Not only was I away from the game, I was away from home for 4 or 5 days. So I haven't been in the forums a great deal. But if you read that, I don't know. That's a bit disappointing.
I could be wrong, mate, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay. And Ren, do you know anything about that, or?
I don't know anything about the prices. I know Kickstarter intended to keep the price structure from 2 months ago, when each tier I think only had 2 options and you had to pick one, and all the options were kind of relevant to where the game was going on to the next months, right? So all require technology so people don't make dumb choices.
That was a Centurion raid, yeah.
Yeah, so I know that's intended to stay. And the targets will be pretty much us fighting Zoe's ships with some basic turret support. So more fast-moving ships backed up by some turrets, right? And mostly penetrative and some small amount of corrosive damage. That's what I know.
Okay, so we're sort of switching from hitting the bases now to hitting the fleets, which is going to maybe force us to have some kind of different fleet element in there. So maybe using some different kind of fleet. So that's interesting.
So on that, what you just said, I mean, on that new different classes of hulls, the whole class we'll need for this raid will be assault.
Agreed. Yeah, assault.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I mean, depending on how they deliver it to us, I just hope that we don't see an extremely difficult raid for this new type of raid initially. And I know people do tend to find, when we switch to a new raid format, people do tend to find the raids quite difficult. But quite often that's just because it's the first time we're experiencing hitting that. So I just hope that this one isn't too tough, because I don't think I have any good assault fleets built.
I must admit, I was the same earlier. And I put a post up at the weekend on the TFC page, and I said for those that have got Punishers with Earthshakers, which has been very popular doing the environmental stuff, they need to put the D33 DR on to slow things down if they want the Earthshaker to actually hit anything, and obviously up the penetration defense as well. And maybe then put some Alex 4s in as well on the other ship, just in case. Rather than think about all mortars coming in, so take your dub fleet and then just put a little bit of penetration defense on there, and obviously try and put one of those slowing cannons on as well. Take off one of your Earthshakers, You got a chance to hit it.
See if they're going away from the bases and going by fleet. It's probably a good idea to put probably disruptor cannons onto each ship to try slow the Draconians down.
And that if you want to use Punishers, right? Because whatever kind of turret they have, the turret dealing corrosive damage probably will be a scattergun type. So, you know, having 5 Punishers or 4 Punishers or whatever all stacked together, they're all going to take damage together. So I think trying to use holes with remote targeting would be a smart thing to do here. You know, like you keep only one hole taking damage, getting range and whatnot, and the other guy's a little bit behind. Sort of like we were doing against the Scourge.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Well, I wonder if sorry, go on, Monster.
I was just going to say I'd probably try my own rhinos first.
I was just going to say, I wonder if like maybe a Punisher tank and rhinos would work quite well in this again.
Should work. I mean, if you look at the assault family, right? The rhino's there. Rhino, I think it's a tier 4 assault hull. The Neptune is there. I think it's either tier 5 or 4.5, whatever. On assault.
So on my screen.
Oh, awesome. I'm going to lock onto your screen a second, Andrew.
Well, the only reason I thought about them is because they've been pushing that hull out this past couple of months, so it would make sense if we're going into this type of raid to use them.
Yeah, I mean, I have my rhinos. I recently wasted the time I felt replacing my free rhinos to free Zoe's rhinos, which are now finished. And I kind of felt to myself, oh, have I just wasted my time doing that? And maybe not. Maybe not.
Just remember, the Neptune is a siege hull, not an assault hull.
No, the Neptune is an assault hull.
But it hasn't got any assault deflection, is it? It's only got siege.
That's right. But in their category, and that's something I actually asked the designer there, Rake, and I'm like, why are you doing that? And he said, well, it's more because, and his illustration was very appropriate. He said, what I'm trying to do now is put puzzle pieces together for a puzzle that didn't exist when these holes were created.
Alrighty, yeah, I can see that.
So he said in some cases the decisions were made based on the defensive bonuses, in some cases was made based on the damage type. And so he said if you look at assault holes, pretty much every single hole that deals penetrative damage is here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's saying something, right? That to me is telling that, whatever these assault targets are, they're probably vulnerable, as the Scourge was, to penetrative damage, more than anything else.
Okay, well, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I kind of hope that we do see a preview server for this before, at least I would expect them to, and hopefully some of us will get a chance to get into that and maybe even stream some of it, so at least the community can get a look at these, what we're going to be up against before we actually end up against it. So yeah, I'll ask the question and see if there's going to be anything coming up, because it would be interesting to kind of have a rough idea, if anything, if we need to make some minor changes to some fleets we're going to use. And I'm kind of a bit intrigued about what you said there, Monster, about there not being a hull on offer, because at the very least I would expect to see a PvP hull on offer this raid, because we only have one. And it's
like I said, mate, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I read that it wasn't a hull raid.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if the way the game's changed, in terms of this whole diversity and balance and difference between PvE and PvP, I still ask myself the question as to whether we actually needed it, and I still don't have the answer. But at the moment, I know I only have one PvP hull, and I think that Kix, I need to address that. That's something that needs addressed very quickly.
Well, and you gotta be careful when they say it's not a whole raid. It means it's not going to be a whole store with a bunch of holes you can select. I mean, but there's always one hole in the top prize, right?
A hole, yeah.
Yeah, a hole at the top prize, and probably one or two more. If we're switching now, let's say to an assault, type of series of events, rates, it stands to reason that they're going to be offering some assault holes in the lower tiers, so people can get
The
ready.
HC would be quite good, wouldn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
Level. The HC would be a good one.
Right, and if it's penetrative damage, I mean, I would hope they put something like the Harrier or Disruptor missile on the lower tiers for people to, again, catch up.
Yeah, I mean, I heard they were putting the Punishers in there for 2 million as well.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I call BS on that. You know?
That would wind a lot of people up, considering the ones that paid 12 million for it last
You
race.
think?
No, that was a joke, guys.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's no PvP on, mate, because of just all of the work they've just done to the one like we've got.
Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be, should there? Not yet.
No.
And this one's supposed to last 10 months, so do you know what I mean?
What the holes are supposed to? Yeah, I mean, I think the PvE holes will last 10 months. I really don't think that a timeline can be put on the PvP holes, because their effectiveness really depends on the base you're hitting. So they could be effective for 4 years if you're hitting crap bases, or they could be effective for a week. You know, I guess it really is something they have no control over in that regard.
Yeah, true.
So, should we move on to the Forsaken mission changes and the new prizes? You guys happy with that?
Yeah, it's quite a few.
Yeah, so we're going to see the garrison targets of the Forsaken mission introduced, and I believe that will be... Is that now confirmed as being the previous raid targets?
Yeah, but detuned.
Detuned. And by detuned, they mean one less torp tower in there. Just kidding. No. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, bear in mind we have half repair during raid, so I'm almost sure that maybe they would reduce the damage in half straight away. I'm not sure how they're going to do this, but I'm hoping they do it smart.
I don't know, mate, because well, yeah, they might. We were doing them for pretty cheap, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but on half repair, that's fine. But I mean, as it says there, you know, this will be the only change of target type for this year. Now, this will be it until the end of the year.
I was just about to say that, yeah. So it'll be the only change for 2016, which means for anyone that's a bit concerned, saying, "Oh well, shall I build a fleet to do this?" and then they're just going to change it again in a few months. You've almost guaranteed another 7 months of this. So
and honestly, I mean, if people have, and I know a lot of people watching this don't have all the technology, but if you have your Punishers, say to do uranium bases, I mean, you swap the flagship from an Omega to a Savage Kodiak, and you can pretty much do the garrison targets from FM. I mean, with the extra resistance against missiles, right?
Mm-hmm. But are they going to add in deflection bypass into these that may affect the Punisher's effectiveness? Because I know they have...
Not the Punishers. The deflection bypass is only for type-specific deflection.
My mistake. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, we were sort of pre-warned. So I know that even when they release this, no matter the fact that we've been pre-warned for 2 months, when this comes out, the forums will blow up. But that's unavoidable. But you know, the fleets to hit these have been available to us for a while, and you know, if you don't have a fleet built, then it shouldn't be too hard to get a fleet together, especially with a Foundry and stuff. Which we'll move on to that in a bit. The new Foundry changes, but for me, Citadels are probably my best option for these. The same fleet I used in the raid. I was doing an A set for 1 coin, so I mean I should be able to do my weeklies for free using that same fleet. So yeah, I don't really see this as being much of a major problem. In fact, I see it almost as a beneficial thing, because I find the Wendigos bloody annoying, and these don't have Wendigos, so you know, people may find them easier, is all I'm saying. Don't be too critical before you see them.
Yeah, well, Rhino still worked well against them as well, mate.
Yeah, right. I mean, don't get me wrong, they had some cold snaps in there, didn't they? But you know,
but that's when you just got to learn to drive and just push out your tank just that little bit more.
Yeah,
So-
the key to that it's a good countermeasure ship tanking, and then any sort of remote targeting hull. Rhinos, Citadels are best, but Rhinos work. I mean, even Mastodons. I tried my Mastodons in Tier B with a good tank, and they worked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Citadels are being brought into the Foundry, so we'll talk about that later on. But they're coming in, so players will have the option to be able to get them and be able to do the weeklies. So
And just to be clear, when you say they're coming in, they're not going to be they're not going to have any levels of retrofit. They're just going to be there so you can earn the blueprint through collecting fragments, right?
yeah, same as how currently you can do that with the Centurion. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I did actually ask Kix about whether they were going to introduce retrofit levels for the Centurion. I asked that question a couple of weeks back, and I was told that it was coming soon. So I don't know if that's Drake-based soon or whether that's actually soon. I don't know, but maybe eventually we'll see retrofit levels for those higher-end hulls, Citadel, Centurions. It may be something we see in a few months, or maybe something we see in a few weeks. I don't know, but it probably will get there eventually.
Mm.
So the prizes, I see that we're talking about adding a 5th tier. Did anyone catch that? I'm just going through your notes there, TSM.
Yeah. What I was hoping was that the Tier 4 will drop to something. Will drop. Tier 5 will stay the same at 50 million with a bit of luck. I mean, this is only guessing, but there'll be a Tier 4 slammed in the middle, and it'll be around sort of like 20 to 30 million instead, and then obviously balance the prizes out a little bit better. I've seen we've got a mod in the chat, so I'm sure someone can confirm that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, I think that's the idea. So Tier 5 stays where Tier 4 is, and they put something between 4.5 million and 50 million, right?
which is a huge jump, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good because then by doing so, they line the tiers up with what they're doing with the hulls as well and the weapons. So now everything in game pretty much has a tier, right? 1 to 5.
Because it's a huge jump, isn't it? From Tier 3 to Tier 4 as it stands at the moment.
It is, yeah.
That would make absolute sense.
It is. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. And the addition of a fallback prize 7-day ship build token. That looks quite interesting.
The chance of one, yeah.
A chance, yeah.
Do you know what? I would rather, at this stage of the game right now, I would rather see a 7-day build token than a 7-day ship token, because I'm not even in the need to build any ships in immediate time right now. I'm in the need to upgrade all my bloody turrets to level 8, level 7. So I would love to have seen that. I don't know about you guys, or
Yeah,
there's always two.
nice, mate.
They could just give us another time limited campaign and where we could win 5. They could do that once a month, maybe. And I probably still wouldn't have all my turrets done until Christmas, even at that rate. But anyway, and we've got the new prizes. So the new prizes are a cryo trigger, similar to the combustion trigger. For water-based buildings, the cryo trigger will slow ships in the ice field. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, we've got a lot of cryo stuff, mate, now, and do we really need more? I suppose.
They're going cryotastic, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, we've got fire, oil, and ice now, so yeah, lovely.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it seems like everything's about bases at the moment. When it's probably, in my opinion, bases don't need love right now. Like, bases are tough, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
The funny thing is, like, all these different things that give you fields of fire, fields of ice, fields of oil, or whatever. And the only PvP hull we have has 70% resistance to all fields. So does it really matter having all those fields?
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah.
Unless they all stack, obviously.
Unless they're going to bring out a lead hull.
Yeah.
The next prize I like.
Yeah, the next one, the EMP Blast, a land-based building special that causes a short pinch effect when this building is destroyed. So I'm assuming it's going to work a little bit like a little bit like the flagship that the
Borbas Gorse.
Yeah, Gorse Saber, yeah.
It was
it has to be long range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how effective that's going to... Is that going to be something that you'd stack on oil rigs? Is that going to be something, you know...
No, it's land-based. Only land-based buildings.
Right.
So, in other words, it's probably going to have to go on turrets to be effective against a rush fleet.
No, I mean, the labs have a slot for specials, like tactical modules, don't they? The warehouses, the labs.
It does say building specials, so whether it's stuff... Maybe finally time that you can put some stuff on your labs, I don't know, or...
Mm-hmm.
I think they blow up your warehouses, you can stun them so they just sit there, and then the front turrets can splat them a bit longer.
How many people use their labs and warehouses for anything but your 25%, like?
And how many people, you know, don't have really high stun resistance on their fleets anyway? You know, it's the same as that. It's the same as what we said about the field resistance. Most people have huge stun resistance on their fleets now. Does the Revenge have some stun resistance built into it, or is it just when you add Agility 4 you get it?
No, it has, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's maybe not as effective as we'd like. It kind of almost feels like those two specials would have been really effective if they came out before we had the sort of balance change.
But I think the concept of effective is you know, like Kickstarter is moving towards a different strategy now. I mean, nothing they're releasing is a killer on its own, because that would be power creep, right? I mean, if that EMP blast would stun your ships for 20 seconds, well, they're dead after 20 seconds, not moving or not firing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the way they're doing now, it's every little thing, it's a little piece of the puzzle, and now you put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and in the end, you should be able to defend your base with a variety of strategies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's good. I mean, it's good that we're not getting ridiculous power changes. You know, I prefer it that way. So the third in the lineup of new prizes is the Overload Reload Mechanism, an outpost special. When the outpost receives enough damage to trigger, all turrets in its radius will overload.
It's like your outpost and the Grimshine had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but normally
right?
the outpost is
Definitely.
normally the outpost is something which you target last. So.
Because that's what I'll do. Is hit the outpost last.
I mean,
but you have a lot of people who go in and their health is already low, and they kind of like ignore one or two turrets and just go and hit your outpost to get it killed fast. That all of a sudden now that's a bad idea. If that means the two turrets left will be overloading on you.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of feel that if someone gets to the back of in most base layouts that you see, if someone gets within range of your outpost, it's already game over.
Should be.
Yeah, you may have a few turrets left. You may have a few, but they're back island turrets. We're talking, you know, APOC mortars and stuff like that. And if you know, if you're a clever driver, it's going to be irrelevant. It's going to be completely irrelevant.
Yeah, you're just talking close to the land, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Or just keep driving. Just keep driving, and then you stop targeting the outpost and take the turrets out first.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I can see this being useful in some scenarios, especially. Excuse me now. Especially if you have a couple of turrets that you use as like a last line that sit by your outpost, and perhaps this hyena missile turret is going to be that. So maybe it's something that would run in combination with that. But yeah, I mean, unless you're going to have a couple of last line turrets at the back there, it's not really going to be a huge changer. But in some scenarios, maybe it will. Let's go on to the hyena missile turret. It's an upgrade to the Vulture missile. The Hyena missile turret provides medium to long range missile defense. I'm sure that's meant to say damage, with a bonus to deal critical damage to wounded ships. So, did anyone build a Vulture missile in the past? I did actually build one once.
I saw someone manage to crank one up with a level 7 turret, and they got it up to 16,500 hit points, which is quite reasonable, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's going to be on top of that again, then it's worth it maybe.
Yeah, and at a critical hit, it doubles, doesn't it? So.
Hmm.
Yeah, the voucher as is, I think if you get the voucher and you put the right specials on it, it's one of the few turrets that can actually overcome the deflection in the revenge and actually do more than minimum damage.
Mhm.
And when you get a critical hit that's 2x, then you do serious damage. The problems with the voucher are it had low accuracy, like I think it was something like 75% accuracy.
And the reload stunk.
And the range was up. I think even without the boosts you could get was like 90. So any attacker could actually kill it without getting range. So if this hyena now says it's medium to long range, and let's assume it's going to do more damage than the vulture, that is a serious turret. I want it.
Could replace APOC.
Right?
I could see it sat on the corner just as they take the bend towards your outpost as well. You know, I could see it because that's what I did with the vulture when I built it initially. Is I had it at the back line, so as they would come around the corner and get towards the back, the vulture would lay in a few last little blows before they got there and finish off what was left of them. Because doesn't the vulture work in some way that it has a chance to critical hit a wounded ship? Like the more wounded the ship is, the higher it has a chance to.
And I think was any ships with less than 50% health left, there was a chance of hitting critical 2x normal damage.
Which you could add it, and there's a special that made it target the weakest ship first, isn't there? So
yeah, priority targeting or smart warheads you can use now.
So this does have a lot of potential. I kind of feel that the fact that we're not seeing it as a fallback prize is like a prize that we've seen other high-end turrets like the Cold Snap and the Cryo Launcher. The fact that we're not seeing it as that almost makes me think that it's maybe not as influential, you know, not as much of a game changer. But I could be wrong. But still, it's going to be interesting to see the stats on that. I kind of wish that we'd seen some pictures and stats on today's whip as opposed to just the titles, because, you know, they normally do release the pictures, don't they, in the stats?
They usually only release all the details the week before on the release note. So if the raid is on the 12th, that means we're going to see that on the 15th, I think, of May, all the details.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. I'm always wrong.
No.
Foundry update: sector threat fragment rewards. Fragment increased drop rate when sector threat is in yellow and orange. More news to come. Mega holes, a new combat type planned to introduce the first step in owning the mega hole as new level of interaction between players. Mega holes capable of being built, owned, and operated by players. So what do you guys feel about this?
I don't know, mate. I've got a couple of them, and well, one of them is just expensive to fix and expensive.
No. Just to be clear, the mega holes are not the Ghost Crawler or Nemesis or anything like that. We're talking mega holes like
the 110s.
The 110 from past raids, the massive beast thing.
Oh, I understand now.
Yeah, it's a whole new thing.
So they're actually going to let us win those holes?
Yes.
Build those holes, the mega holes?
Yes.
Whoa.
It's
in
gonna
stages,
be
it said.
It's going to be a whole new mechanic in the game. It's not going to be something that you can use to attack another player's base, or it's not something you're going to be able to use to do FM or raid. It's going to be a separate thing. You know, it's going to be like mega hole versus mega hole kind of thing, or they're going to design some targets for mega holes to hit.
Right.
But it's primarily an alliance versus alliance battle mode. Yeah.
Well, that is extremely interesting.
Yes.
And exciting as well. As long as it's not something that's going to cost a lot, you know, for a very little reward. But it sounds great.
Or take up a dock space to repair.
Well, one of those holes. I mean, that must take up the entire dock.
But by the way, another thing about the mega holes is that like they don't use the dock. So when you repair them in parallel to your regular holes in your regular dock.
The hint on that, it says you've got to build the gantry first. So
Yeah.
you've got to build the building station to start building the hull. So
Exactly.
something different.
This gantry thing will be like right next to your base, and the mega hole is there. It doesn't go in your base because it's too big.
Right.
New dimension for coiners.
Yeah, I mean that sounds intriguing.
I'll leave that one for you, Liam.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you spend a lot of time and effort to build this big giant hole that you then can't use to hit anything with, I mean, you know, I know they're talking. So from what you're saying, they're talking about introducing new features to, you know, they better be worthwhile, especially if this thing takes such a long time to build, you know, and to collect pieces for it. It sounds like so. But very interesting, very interesting. And Kixeye, can I please ask you, this raid coming, please put more shards in there, Kix. Come on.
Oh, they better.
Put 75
Liam wants
of
to
each.
shard himself. Please, guys, help Liam shard himself.
Shard me up. No, I've not actually managed to hit any dubs since the last raid, so I'm still sat at like 150, 150, 150, 150 on the shards. So, more shards, Kixeye.
I got one Nami shard and one Ghost Crawler shard from dubs recently.
Yeah, but once you've got all your gammas, mate, then all you can win is shards. Well,
yep.
If they drop.
Yeah, but you could. But the problem is, what I think the problem is you could just get shards for, say, Ghost Crawler. You could just get Ghost Crawler shards endlessly, you know, and which means you'd have to sit there and complete all 5 Ghost Crawlers before you'd start dropping for another hull or something, you know.
Yeah,
no, they're random, right? I mean, like I said, I got one for Proto Nami and one for Ghost Crawler in the same day.
It actually puzzled me that why you'd need 5 ghosts and why you'd need 5 Hellstars and
you don't.
Nemis, like, so why can us win like 1 of 5 and stuff like this? Just seems silly to me.
Or even, I mean, even the fact that you're going to be getting random shards for 5-6 ships. I mean, it means you may never complete any of them, but just slowly progress all of them at the same time, which is kind of boring.
Exactly.
I would like to be able to kind of focus, right? I mean,
and also doing it that way, Ren. If you were to, if just to say you were getting a random shard for each hole along the way, you'd get to an end point where you're kind of completing all 4 at once, and then you could be faced with 4, 5, 6 months of build time.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I agree. There should be some way to maybe focus.
I mean, to be honest, apart from the ghost, what mega hull would you really, really want?
Well, that's very easy for you to say, Monster, when you have 2 Ghost Crawlers and a Hellstar in your dock.
No, but I'm just saying. I mean, I suppose a Nemi for like your base.
Yeah, I suppose I would use an Nemi on my base guard.
The Ghost Crawler's the one to have, I think, at the moment, isn't it?
I'd put a few Nemis in my base. You know what I mean? I'd put a few in. I would say no to a few Nemis, Kicks, if you're feeling generous. You know?
Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, just think of how much I'd coin to repair them every time I'm hit. You know?
Exactly.
Okay. VXP weekends / VXP bulk buy discounts. More info on the ways to earn VXP during the month of May.
Yeah. I don't have a slide in that, Liam.
No, sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. I do have some. TSM did like a bulletin point as well, which I've been reading out. So don't worry about it. It's okay.
Okay.
Maybe we could see what you. There she is. I told you she's alive. Ren thought maybe I'd duct taped your mouth.
No, I'm just tired. I don't feel so good.
No, I did PM him and said only on Fridays. So. No.
I just threw the last one in simply because I have to say I wasn't overly impressed with the bulk buy discount concept.
Mm-hmm.
It still seemed ridiculously expensive for what it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's ridiculous to buy rank at all. Unless they're going to let me legendary rank them for like 10 coins, I'm not even going to waste my time looking at it, to be quite honest. I've got better things to spend gold on. It's the one part of the game that requires they shouldn't really waste man hours in, I think.
Well, I went from, I mean, let's go in American speak. I went from gunnery sergeant to legendary rank in 6 hours. You know, and it cost me nothing apart from a bit of time.
Now, if you try to buy that same progress,
Oh, can you imagine
I think it's like over $100. It's stupid.
I'd rather
It costs more to legendary rank a ship than it does to coin the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather sit there and hit salvos for days and days and days than coin rank.
Well, okay, guys. So we're going to move into the big topic now, and we are sort of quite far in. I can't believe we haven't hit it yet. But let's go on to your favourite subject. I don't know if anyone's noticed this in the game yet, but there was a Revenge rebalance update. Anyone see that or no?
Apparently so.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm a bit disappointed. I got an email inviting me into a preview server to test out these changes last Friday, but I was out of town and had no laptop with me, so I couldn't bloody go and have a look at it. But I know you did, Monster. Did anyone else on the panel here? TSM, did you go in or?
I didn't get a chance. Sorry, no, I was busy.
Lucy, there is a slide for the changes on the Revenge hull, is there not?
Oh, there was. You said something else. You didn't say that. You said you wanted to talk about something else.
Oh, it's okay. No, it's fine.
You want me to go on it?
If you don't mind.
You're just a pain in the ass. Do you know that?
You look so grumpy tonight.
I am so tired.
She was yawning on camera just now. It was so cute.
There's many words I could think of describing it, Ren. Cute is maybe not one of them.
I'm just being nice. Come on.
No.
Someone's nice to me.
Yeah. So the stats that have changed, guys. So we've had a siege and assault deflection have been removed entirely from the Revenge. We already knew about that, didn't we? Evade is increased from 10 to 35%, which I believe is much needed, considering that they did back out of changing this hull from being completely immune to boom
Shockwaves.
Yeah, shockwaves. That's the word. So it can be shockwaved, but it has more evade now, so you can bring its evade up a lot higher.
Yeah, so people were asking in our page, I mean, oh wow, since now it's not immune to shockwaves, what kind of armor should I use? And I'm inclined to either go with the Shockwave 2 armor or D5E for as high as evade as I can get.
Well, I know Monster's made some changes to his fleet, and I don't know, Monster, do you want to talk about it or?
Well, yeah, I mean, the fleet I used in the previous server is completely different to the fleet that I've got now because of the unreactive stat where in the previous server it wasn't getting a boom, but now it is.
Right.
So it's sort of like it's a bit mad, but yeah, I mean I've gone high evade, mate.
Yeah, I believe you've gone for one bulkhead and one D5E, correct?
Yeah, mate, I am.
And then tweak some specials to kind of bring its evade up as high as it could be.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I mean, I'm going to have to change mine. At some point, I'm going to have to change mine. I currently have 2 shockwave plates on mine. I'm going to have to do some changes there, which isn't great. But, you know, it's only 2 armors, thankfully. It's not, 8 armors, which is something, I guess. But still, it's probably going to cost me 6-7 days to refit all, across 5 ships, which is 30 days. So,
yeah,
I'm not looking forward to it.
I was a bit surprised. But I suppose, I mean, I wouldn't say so many people were complaining about it having that stat changed. But when it came back out again, I actually took it out when it was changed before I coined a refit and hit a base with 2 in forces. Like in the previous server, I would have smashed that base, but I was dead. The first in force, I just tore my fleet apart. So I had to go and change it.
Well, so they've upgraded the basic deflections, the damage specific deflections. The ballistic's gone up quite considerably by 1,590, as has the penetrative deflection. The explosive deflections also took quite a large buff as well. Very similar stat there. So I believe that this thing is actually, in theory, when you do the math on this, this hull is now actually stronger against base turrets than it was before.
The bit I like the most is the bloodburst.
Partially. Go ahead.
Well,
Sorry, go on.
I was just saying the bit I like the bit is the bloodburst abilities. Because now you've got corrosive and you've also got concussive defense now.
Well, I was just going to say with that though, if you actually do the math, if the math was correct to start with, it is now weaker to corrosive, concussive, and radioactive.
Exactly.
Because before you had the assault deflection or siege deflection stat, which you could then add. When it went into its bloodthirst ability, it added even more deflection, didn't it? It added in more assault deflection and siege deflection. And if you added those two numbers together, they were higher than 750. So now that it's lost them entirely, but been given them, it is actually weaker overall to, say, for example, the Basilisk turret. It's weaker to the Basilisk turret now.
But I didn't think they were going to give anything at all for that, and I'm surprised. I'm pleased they did, because I thought they were just going to take away those two other stats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so to compare what Liam was saying, right? In Bloodthirsty mode, I think the siege deflection was 600, and in Bloodthirsty mode plus 360. So you had 960 siege deflection against every single type of damage out there, everything, right? So now you get that 960, and on the three basic types there, ballistic, penetrative, and explosive, they added more than that. So you're more resistant against I think especially the Deadeye Executioners and Deadeye Ballistas, because the Apocs were not hurting it much anyways. But it went down by over 200 against the Basilisk and the Draconian Scattergun. So, I mean, those turrets now hurt the Revenge more than they did before, right? And I mean, I don't think the Revenge will ever get in range of a Gargoyle turret, but if it does, the Gargoyle now can actually do some more damage to it than it could before.
I have actually frozen. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, because my screen's frozen.
The screen's black.
Is
Always
it black? Is it? It's telling me.
If I click on you, you're black.
Wow,
I can still see him.
I can see you, but when you speak, you're black. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man.
The screen goes black.
You see what I did there? Anyway, okay.
Yeah, you have frozen. Look how angry you look.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Hopefully, I can't unlock the screen off of Lucy at the moment.
It's okay. Oh, by the way, who's happy about the new repair time?
Me.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy.
That's so freaking awesome.
I mean, that's a huge reduction, isn't it?
Yeah, huge.
It's almost double, is it not?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even if you have it fully armored, I guess. I mean, not with bulkheads, but the other, like D5E or Shockwave or whatever. I think now, even if you get 100% destroyed, you can still be back in the game for like 8 hours or 16 coins.
Yeah, it's an overnight fix now from Dead, which is perfect.
All I can say is if you get this fleet built, right, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Yep.
A lot of fun.
Do you know, to get players back in the game, hitting bases, you can now, if you've got this fleet, you can hit a base every night, fix overnight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Or hit one in the morning for breakfast and then go to work and fix it while you work.
Yeah, in fact, twice a day you can do it. Yeah, good point, Ray. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed it. I mean, I'm not sure myself. I think in some scenarios it's now going to be better, and in some scenarios it's now going to be worse. Is that a good statement to make there, or?
Could be. Now, here's a thought. With that type of repair time, and with the Revenge not being too strong against concussive damage, has anyone thought, or is anyone actually already doing, like having a Revenge in your base guard?
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay, because I'm thinking of doing that next. I mean, getting one with the Gatling guns and putting that on my base guard.
The problem is the Gatling guns, though. Unless they go into overload mode, your ship's going to die pretty quick.
Right.
Because unless they're into that
Go on.
No, go on, mate. You've got the same point. Go on.
I was going to say, I must admit, there was one guy in our alliance put one in his base, and he just got walked through. So, unless you get up close to it, it ain't going to do much.
But it doesn't have to be Gatling guns. Use something else. There is another good ship weapon that you can put on it that makes it very powerful.
Like the antipode, you think?
I'll tell you later. There is one.
Okay. Well, yeah. So it's been an interesting week. I mean, we've been hit with some big changes. We've been hit with some new content, and we've been shown some upcoming content. So it looks like it's going to be a very busy, interesting month again this month in BP. We've had a couple of crazy months, so maybe it'll be a little bit more settled this month. Who knows?
Do you want to the bug checks and bug fixes, mate?
Yeah, I was just going to say there was some bug fixes, and TuneIn fixed some issues with the use of tokens. These fixes should alleviate some of the issues players have recently been encountering using tokens won from the Forsaken mission. So has anyone had issues with that?
No.
I've seen a couple of people that have, they've won some tokens and then they couldn't actually cash them in. And they had to refresh 4 or 5 times for it to happen before they could.
And clear browsing, the cache in the browser and whatnot. I think Liam's gone, by the way.
Yep.
Sorry guys.
But yeah, I saw that too. Some guys had that, and I hope it fixes it, right?
Yeah.
If he's gone, are we still live?
Yeah, we're live.
All right. Okay.
So the next one is chat services. I think especially in the private messaging box in game.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the alliance chat, when the leader wanted to send a blast to everyone, wasn't working, and I've seen that sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah, last week I couldn't send out a blast, I have to say.
Okay, so fixed now. The co-op one I've never seen, where it says the co-op text was overlapping with the description. I haven't seen that one.
No, me either.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay. And VXP bulk buy apparently would show 1 gold more than it was actually charged. So I'm not buying VXP, so I haven't seen that one.
I think it showed about 100% more than it should do anyway. So
yeah.
Maybe 1,000%, I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, daily deals. I don't know if we had a chance to talk about that, but there's an issue there being fixed. But overall, are you guys happy with the daily deals? There he is.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It completely froze and locked me out.
It's okay. We're done with the bug fixes. We're just talking about the daily deals.
Okay.
The randomness of the daily deals, and I don't know what mechanism you're using. There was some chat about it on the forums during the week. 2 people with the same coining ability, the same level bases, both get the same option on the same day, and yet one of them's getting it for almost half what the other one's getting it for.
Yeah, the price seems to be totally random, almost as if they're trying to find the right price, so they keep throwing different prices out there to see what flies.
Like a marketing tool, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, on the first day, I got a 2-day build token for 30 coin, and then on the next day, I got a 1-day build token appear for 30 coin, and I was like, well, why would I buy that when? Do you know what I mean? It's like
it's almost This reminds me of something they did in Vega a little while ago. They did something called, is it line testing, line A/B testing or something, and it's basically where they give players 2 different prices and they see which one responds the best, which one people buy the most, and then they stick with it. But
that's what they're doing right now. But I'll tell you, I mean, I'm very disappointed with it because I'm kind of ready to spend some money on good deals, but I haven't seen a single good one. I mean, they're offering me skins for Crusader, skin for Atlas Carrier, badges. I mean, all stuff that really won't help me in the game at all. But had they offered me some Ghost Crawler shards like some people got, I would have bought them.
Well, you can get 1 shard for 15 gold. I'm not doing that.
Well, I would have certainly have got involved in the shards. I've yet to have been offered any. I would have probably have bought the shards. I don't know. I mean, is it something that we really need? I would rather have seen this thing offered and released as is. But instead of saying 15 gold for this, it would say go out and hit 10 of these and go out and hit 10 of that, and you can earn it as opposed to having to buy it. I don't know.
Well, it's like they keep offering these repair tokens as well. Well, I'd much prefer to have a build one.
I think Ren was just attacked there.
Bloodthirst.
That was my son.
Hi, Ren, son.
He's gone. He just did an Easter egg appearance and gone.
Remember when he done that thing with the farm?
Yeah.
He's funny.
Okay, did you guys hit the Foundry parts?
No, not yet. No.
It was just a last note that TSM made. These are notes I've been reading throughout the show here as well. These are notes that TSM made as well as Andrew's slides. So we've had two sources of information in the show, which has been great, and nice work on these notes, TSM. So the Foundry parts, originally we had scheduled to unlock the level lock on level 30 and 40 Draconian mines for Foundry parts to May the 17th. This has been changed to May the 24th due to the delay in the development on this feature. So it's just really announcing a week's delay on that, which I don't really know if is any really a huge issue to anyone. I know it's a thing it's annoying everyone, isn't it? But
Well,
some people want to hit them so they can actually retrofit their Crusaders or Vindicators and whatnot. And if you're a high level, you can't, which can be a bit frustrating. But it's not really a showstopper.
I think it's a good idea how they've done it though, because obviously you've got the lower levels that they can only hit the 30s, so it's going to give them the opportunity to grab that hole and complete that before. So the bigger players hit it.
I was going to say exactly the same thing, Andrew. You're right. I think it's right. If you're going for low-level stuff, let the low levels get it first, at least for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then open it up to those that are above that want to do a bit of catch-up on their older fleets. Because we don't really need them, to be honest. I mean, it's just a nice to have.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's just people wanting to collect everything, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I would like to get them done, but it's not like I'm going to...
But I mean, it's people collecting everything, and in some cases, it's people who are high levels but are behind on technology, and so eventually the best thing they have is a Crusader, even though they're like level 70, but they can't hit the low-level targets for now. So these guys are stuck, but I'm inclined to think that's not a majority of players.
Did you also note the new Foundry holes that are coming out for May?
Yep.
Well, I think Lucy showed it on a slide as well. So it's the...
Hold on, I'll get it.
From like the DNX all the way up to the Citadel, the garrison holes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts with the Strike Cruiser in Tier 1, and you can... okay. Lucy's got it. Saves me reading out. Yeah. So the garrison targets, which is going to be the new Forsaken mission targets, it's the Strike Cruiser at level 30 and minus, I believe that's saying. The Dreadnought X is between 30 and 50, Novastorm 50-70, Berserker 70-90, Citadel 90 to 110.
Yeah, what's cool about this is that, you get these fragments to use the Foundry just by doing stuff you would normally do already. It's not an extra chore. So, you got to do FM anyway, so now you get to retrofit some holes while you're doing your FM.
Well, do you know what another thing I'd like to say here is it kicks off. If you're going to do this list of holes here, then you need to address the build times, because the Strike Cruiser has a longer build time. Am I wrong here in saying that the Strike Cruiser has a longer build time than the DNX and the Novastorm?
It does now.
Yeah, the DNX and the Novastorm were 2 holes where they reduced the build time. But the Strike Cruiser, the Berserker, are totally out of line with the other guys. I mean, I think in the time you build one Berserker, you get like 2 Citadels at the same time.
Yeah, I mean the Berserker is probably still something like that crazy 9 days or something, isn't it? Just for the whole. So that definitely needs addressed. I would definitely hopefully like to see them bring that down to something like 5 days.
I think they will. I mean, they did that for the
Dreadnought.
The Dreadnought, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
And the Strike Cruiser would have to go lower than the DNX, surely, because the DNX is like 6 hours now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you would expect to see the Strike Cruiser, what, 5 hours or?
Same time or a little bit less, yeah.
Yeah, they need to address the repair time on the Berserker as well, because that's quite a long fix, mate.
Is it still the 150% on Reaver Tech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Which I think now is outdated, I have to say.
I must admit, I've just scrapped mine because I was using them to hit lower guys just to get cheap alliance points, but with the repair time, it just wasn't worth it. Like,
well, doesn't the Nova Storm still fall into the? Is that a Reaver bracket as well? Does that have the modifier, or did they adjust that already?
I think they've adjusted it to 100%. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if they've done it on that, then you would expect them to do it on the, because they've already broken their rule, so you would expect them to maybe bring the Berserker in line with, on the repair side as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
now, the one thing that doesn't make sense to me here is like, whoever wants the Citadel has to be hitting the most challenging targets in the scale there for Sacred Mission, right? 90 to 110. So I would think, if you can already kill those targets reasonably, do you need the Citadel?
Well, I think I see that as a tech tree. Like, I see you as having to start off with the Strike Cruiser. Say, for example, you're a new player. So you start off with a Strike Cruiser, and then you say, for example, you use floating fortresses to hit level 30s. Then you get the Strike Cruiser. You build the Strike Cruiser, then you hit between 30 and 50, get the DNX, and you work your way up that tech tree.
but
But then the point, what I'm saying is, let's say then following your train of thought, then you'd get the Berserker, and with the Berserker you'd be hitting the 90 to 110 to get the Citadel, and then what do you need the Citadel for then?
Well, just to do it all very easy and cheap.
You know.
But surely you'd have to get the what's it called, the Centurion to hit the 110s, right?
No, because these are going to be like the raid targets.
Yeah, the Centurions won't last much here because they don't have penetrative defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or explosive, for that matter. So the cold snaps would probably kill the Centurion pretty fast.
I see the Berserkers as not having a good time in this, though. If that's the hold that they're offering on Tier 4 to work your way up to Tier 5, doesn't the cold snap instantly take away the Berserker's ability anyway?
Yeah, it does.
It should do, yeah.
So,
I've just logged in the game, and the repair modifier is still 150 on the Berserker.
I mean, when the Berserker first came out, it was brilliant with launchers on, like, but it died out so quick, and it's not a hull that I would advise anybody to use unless.
Me neither. No, and by the way, it's funny, because the Berserker came before the Nova Storm, but it's still considered stronger. And I would never, ever, like you said, ever advise anyone to build it. I mean...
No, I wouldn't.
Honestly, I wouldn't advise anybody to build any mortar hull except for the Citadel, just because it has remote targets.
Yeah.
Well, so there we are. Another fun-packed week. Anything else that you guys want to add to the table?
I think that's enough for 1 week.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, and we had a great amount of people watching the show tonight as well. So thank you everyone that's come out to watch us live. Thank you to the guest presenters that were on the show tonight, and thank you to all of the main presenters, and thank you to everyone that gets involved in the page and the show and all the information we get going. It's still growing great, our little community. So it's fantastic, and we'll be doing an open mic this weekend. We will definitely be doing one. So
before you end it, so I just wanted to let them know that.
See that cat picture?
We got some cat's ass on tape.
Oh my god, that was horrific. I was like, move, get my face.
Cat's ass on tape.
No, now we know why your breath smells bad.
Oh man!
Ouch.
It was a joke.
Ouch! Somebody's gonna sleep in the couch tonight.
No battered pizza for you tonight.
No battered pizza tonight.
I just basically wanted to say that the website has been updated. It has been changed slightly. So the suggested builds tab has been removed to be more aligned with the actual game itself. It's now got whole classes in with the skirmishes with all the holes, also the siege, assault, the conquer, and the garrison. So each hole is going to have like, a link to it to the recommended build or a build that you may use. The ones currently grayed out do not have links. So if any of you feel that you've got a build that's going to help somebody, so please post it on the page and we'll get it added as soon as possible.
Lovely, nice work, Andrew. Yeah,
and Liam, I know it's late for you guys, but because of the changes in the Revenge and whatnot, if you want to share the link here, and we can do a post show if people, I can stay and host it.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Just an idea.
No worries. Yeah, if you want to do like a after show, is what you mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem at all.
After show, after shave, all the same.
After shave, yeah. And what we're in the open mic this weekend, maybe we'll spend some time discussing the Revenge and its changes a little bit more in more detail. Perhaps, in fact, we'll even show some builds. How does that sound? Yeah? Okay, you're all excited. You're very, very excited. Especially Ren. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. Well, listen. I'll cut the show there because we have gone past a little bit. I will post the link to this hangout in the YouTube chat. So if anyone wants to jump in and have a chat with Ren or any of the guys here, feel free to do so. And thank you everyone that's got involved, watched, taken part. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
Good night.
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 Right.